Vroom, 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 vroom. All right, so this is a Tootsietoy, and I have not restored one of these guys in about 4 years. I was looking through some of my old videos, and it reminded me of how much I enjoyed restoring them. Haven't done it in a long time, so I think I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna start out with something simple, get my feet wet before doing anything complex. I've lost a lot of my tools, a lot of my skills, and my workspace, so a lot of changes. But yeah. So I think I found it here. It looks like that one there in my book. It's the Chevy panel, 1950, 4-inch. So I'm pretty sure that's what we've got here. These were very basic cars. So they came in blister packs or in little baggies, if I understand it right, ranging from between 15 and 35 cents, depending on if they came with other accessories or things like that. Not very collectible. The issue with these and their collectability is that most of the people that played with these as a kid, well, they're gone. They're not with us anymore. So nostalgia is what often creates collectability. That's why Hot Wheels are so popular in the United States. I know, that's what I grew up with. I just think these are so cool, and you can get them for super cheap. And they're often in very bad shape, which makes them really fun to restore. So these axles, it looks like there's a nail that goes into a tube here. I've run into that before, and if that's the case, that means that I should be able to just pull them out, maybe if I'm lucky, and that means I'll be able to preserve both this tube and these spikes or brads that they use. If I have to cut it, I will, because I can fabricate these really easily. I've done it plenty of times before. But, I always like to preserve what's there. Sometimes with axles you can't do it, though. These are rubber wheels. They feel like plastic because they're super hard. But, yeah, they're rubber. So we'll definitely be able to spruce those, clean those up, and reuse those. They're in really good shape. The inside of this thing is filthy, as you can see. Always trying to get my camera to focus right. It wants to focus on the axles. Anyway, you can see how dirty it is. So we'll clean that. I'm going to probably put it in an ultrasonic cleaner after I strip it. It's a good thing to do anyway, just to grease it and get it ready for paint. So the process for this is going to be pretty simple. We're going to take off the axles, take out the wheels, strip it, clean it. It's got a dent. You can see right in here, there is kind of like almost been stepped on maybe. So I'm just gonna have to, it should bend out pretty easily. Paint it. This did have a chromed grille, so I'll put that on. This is one of the upgraded models. Originally, these Tootsietoys were all one solid color. And put the wheels back on after they've been cleaned, and that'll be done. It should be a beautiful, beautiful rendition. Okay, so I don't know if this is like one piece or if it's just, 70 years of corrosion in there, but those aren't coming out. So I'm going to have to cut these. I'll probably cut right at the end here. So maybe I can figure out how to use these tubes again, but if I have to remake them, it's not the end of the world. All right, so I got them off. And these were never going to come out. It's all one piece. I don't know if it's cast or how it is, but that was never going to come out. So the next thing to do is to put this in the stripper tank and see what it looks like on the way out. So I got a new bottle of citrus strip. I highly recommend this stuff. It's much less bad for you. A lot of the chemicals in this hobby can be not good. And I try to avoid that as much as I can. And this is good stuff. Unfortunately, it's also expensive. This bottle cost me $17, but it will last at least a year. So I'll let that sit in there for a couple hours, and then we'll pull it out, and it should be nice and stripped off. Paint came off really easily, super easily, just sloughed right off. No problems. I didn't have to scrub it at all, really, to get it off. Just had to wash it off. And the inside is still covered in dirt. And this isn't corrosion, it doesn't look like. It looks like it's just dirt. Having some trouble getting in there and getting it all out, but I'm going to work on getting this clean. And then we'll just degrease it and get it ready for paint. We're on the home stretch here. All right, so we got a couple places, like right in here, where it's just very poorly casted. You know, there's some overhang, and I don't mind cleaning this stuff up. It doesn't change the car or the appearance. It just makes it better. I think that if the company could have done it, they would have, but these are meant to be ultra cheap toys. So I'm going to sand some of these areas down. Probably not using the stick. That did not work well. I'm going to use a file. So this is what I use for the primer. Steinelres, maybe. I have trouble reading that font. This is excellent stuff. I have it in, let me see if I can grab it. I have it in gray and black also. I bought it as a set, and this is the best primer I've found. And it's 4 years old, and it still works great. So I went to Hobby Lobby with my family, and I found this. This is pretty much the exact color that I was looking for. It's kind of an orangey-ish yellow, because a lot of these Tootsie Toys that I've seen, not a lot, but some, have a color very similar to this. And instead of mixing it my own, I decided to just buy it. And of course, I use the 4012 thinner, and then the balancing clear also. This is super important. I find Createx hard to use at first until you figure out all the tricks, and really these two products are the tricks to being able to spray it. I find enamel's a lot easier, like testers or some of the other urethanes, a lot easier to spray, but I'm trying to be less toxic, I guess is the word, I don't know. I'm trying to use safer products. I've heard a lot of people, even in this hobby, that have ended up stopping doing it because all the chemicals used can hurt you. And I've got my family and stuff around, and my dogs, and a cat, so I don't want them to get hurt. So I'm trying to go with all water-based stuff right now. We'll see how long I stick with that, because I find it a lot harder to work with. For the clear coat, I use the Pledge. This is something I learned a long time ago. It works great for things that are on display. I don't even know if you can buy this anymore. You might not be able to, but I'm sure there's a product like it. You'll have to do your own research. It goes on great. So I was not super pleased with my paint job. I had all sorts of problems with my airbrush. My airbrush is really old, and it started to spit, and give me all sorts of problems. I got really poor flow. So I ended up, this is about a dozen, no joke, there's about a dozen really light coats on this. But what I ended up doing is cleaning the airbrush, running a bunch of water through it, and that seemed to fix it. And it sprayed, the final coat did really well. And this is here with the Pledge clear coat on it. So this is definitely good enough. If I had to give myself a score for this paint job, it would be like a 2 out of 10. Bad, not good at all. But it is going to be, it's going to get the job done. I said at the beginning of this video that I lost a lot of my skills, and definitely airbrushing is one of them. Haven't done it in a long, long time. So
So I'm going to try something new with these axles. So this is totally different than what I was talking about before. I found these tension pins, and these are used in machining to keep machine parts together. You also see them used in firearms and things like that. What they are is it's almost like a spring, but not really. But it's a tube that I think I can take these pins, and it's a very tight fit, but I should be able to hammer them down, and I won't have to use any glue. And this is very similar to how the original was done. Not exactly, of course, but this is going to be the truest that I can do, and this is going to be a mechanical way of keeping together. Now, the issue is this is going to be finicky. Basically at one shot, I'm going to have to hammer these in while they're connected to the body of our car. I have to do this without hurting the car either. So, yeah, wish me luck. I might just be cutting these out. This may ruin the project, but sometimes there's a risk involved in some of these things. All right, well, that turned out even better than I expected. Those, look how that joined in there really well. Very similar to how they were originally. The rolls, these never rolled well. You can't compare these to Hot Wheels, but it rolls great, and this ended up looking really good. So I'm really pleased with this. If you remember, this is the before, and now we have the after. Man, what an improvement. I know this was not a riveting restoration, not something that's super interesting, but it got my feet wet. It got another video out there, and hopefully I'll be making some more. I already have some plans. I really, really enjoyed this. So thanks for spending the time with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.